on the present, saying, quote, I seized the moment. I focus on the now. I think it's very important for me to do exactly that and not be distracted or put too much focus anywhere other than what it is that I'm doing now. My fire is burning, and my fire is big. You can throw whatever you want in there for it to burn and for it to get bigger. Oh, Acho, Cowboys doing too much talking here?
Man, them Cowboys doing a little too much chirping, Marcellus. Ooh. They're doing too much chirping because, to their credit, to Jerry Jones' credit, let me build him up first.
Yes.
He has built an empire. Not necessarily on the field, but he has built an empire as far as the Cowboys brand. For 2 years, 2016, 2017, I worked in Dallas. I worked for the Cowboys in that media department. I worked at the Star. You walk into the Star, Marcellus, one Cowboys way in Frisco, Texas, and you walk into the Star, $1 million of chandeliers.
Yeah.
You have replicas or the actual Super Bowl trophy sitting there, all of it, and you see the build, you see the hype. But the problem is, the Cowboys have been living off of hype since I was born. 3 years after I was born. Because when I was born into the glory days.
Right.
I was born, I had an Emmitt Smith poster in my room, and it still had holes in it because it got jammed into my locker growing up. So I'm going to let you know it was real.
All in.
But since then, Marcellus, the last 24 years, Cowboys haven't been to a Super Bowl, haven't been to an NFC Championship game. So if we're being honest, and I hate to say it, but the Cowboys have really been imposters. And they've been imposters because the expectations are so high. And why are they so high? Because each and every year, Jerry and Stephen Jones, they sell us on how good the franchise is going to be. And I buy it. I buy the hype. I believe the hype. And then the players, Zeke, Dak, they're selling us on dreams. And I'm buying it, Marcellus. I'm believing the hype. And then the roster, it sells us on glory. You got star after star at receiver. One of the best offensive lines, even though La'el Collins is hurt now. You got a quarterback who's a top 5 passer as far as yardage. And so you believe the hype. But then if the devil's in the details, the Cowboys only have 3 meaningful wins in the last 2 decades. 3 playoff wins. That is a problem, Marcellus. So, yes, they're doing too much chirping because they're not doing enough winning.
They're not doing too much chirping. They're not doing too much talking.
Sir.
What you're doing, and you're trying to really show it, is having buyer's remorse because you keep buying the hype. You know, Emmanuel Acho takes 30 seconds of clips that were spread out over 3 different months and says they just can't stop talking about how good they are. Wow, what a classic case of selective perception by you, Acho. And I didn't think you would fall into that sunken psychology. You're the out-of-towner, and I live here in L.A., born and raised. I've seen the Stars from 3rd grade. You're the out-of-towner that comes from Austin, Texas, shall you, and comes to L.A., gets off the airplane, drives through in his cab, gets to his hotel, and calls his friend, oh, my God, L.A. is crazy. Everyone has a Mercedes. Everyone's rich out here.
They do.
You see what I'm saying? This is the crazy.
And Bentleys. I seen a Rolls Royce while I was riding my bike this morning.
And you just forgot to look at all the Camrys, all the Sentras.
There are a couple of those.
There are more of those actually out here. But that's my point. Have you ever been a Dallas Cowboy? No, you haven't. You've been in there. You were working for the Cowboys, but you don't know how it feels to be on the varsity squad. I do.
Okay, talk to me.
It wasn't a good experience for me, but I know what the Stars still feels like. And let me tell you, JV team, because that's what University of Texas is. The JV of Texas. It's not the Houston Texans.
I'll let them get these shots out.
Yeah, I'm getting my shots fully loaded.
Get these shots out, please.
When you're a JV squad, you don't understand how you're inundated, how you're flooded with national attention on the daily. The beat writers in Dallas are in the dozens in comparison to other NFL teams. People always say, when you make it to the NFL, you've arrived. Oh, no. Once you become a Dallas Cowboy, you've arrived. Let me tell you about this experience and how it translates around the NFL. You keep talking about the Dallas Cowboys, chirping. What happens when the Bears and Allen Robinson comes out and says, we want to win a Super Bowl, and that's the main thing? Where's Acho then in his selective perception? What about when Ryan Pace, GM of the Bears, comes up? I really feel like we can excel this season. Our expectations are championship expectations. Where's the A block? Where's Acho? Where's his everyone in L.A. has a Benz? That's the problem, brother. You are doing what the Dallas Cowboys know you will do, which is look at them and make it bigger than it is.
You, sir, are a part of the problem.
Oh, I am?
You, Marcellus Wiley, are a part of the problem. You are the problem, actually. You just sat here and you told me, and you made the comparison out of your own mouth, that the Cowboys are varsity. Right?
Yeah.
If the Cowboys and playing for the Cowboys are varsity,
yes, that's
then they have varsity expectations. But how come the Cowboys only have 2 more playoff appearances than the Browns in the last 20 years? If the Cowboys are varsity, then where's the varsity achievement? No, sir, not yet, because I'm still going. I'm about to roll and start writing your notes because you're going to need every single ounce of them. Get every bit of ink out of that pen because I'm about to go. Last 20 seasons. Giants, they've been to 3 Super Bowls. They've won 2. Last 20 seasons, Eagles, not only have they been to 2 Super Bowls, they've been to 6 conference championships. Cowboys, what have they given us in the last 20 seasons? The only other teams, Marcellus, in the NFC that haven't been where the Cowboys are trying to go are the Lions and some other terrible team that is slipping my mind right now, okay? So you, sir, are actually the problem because people like you say the Cowboys are varsity. Yeah. People like you say the Cowboys are the gold standard. Yeah. People like you perpetuate that the Cowboys are America's team. While the Cowboys are greatness, they embody that because of what Jerry Jones has done with that brand and what Jerry Jones has done with that team. The Cowboys and their expectations let us down every year. Dak Prescott, what was he last year? He was 8-8. But Dak Prescott was 1-6 versus playoff teams, along with likes of Andy Dalton, Derek Carr, Jameis Winston. 2 of those quarterbacks are currently backups, but Dak Prescott, he should be the highest paid quarterback, let Marcellus tell it. So the problem at hand here is you continue to build up these Cowboys. I continue to buy into the hype that they're varsity. They're varsity. I want them to be varsity. I was born in Dallas. I live 20 minutes away from Cowboy Stadium and 18 minutes away from the Star. I'm smack dab in Dallas, not a suburb. I have the Emmitt Smith poster. But it's time for me to stop buying into the hype and stop listening to these Cowboys players because they're doing too much talking like you just finished doing.
Wow. It's amazing that the Cowboys are guilty of doing what every single team in the NFL does in the offseason, which is win the offseason. And the Cowboys do it, all of a sudden, you take it and make it grander than it is because they're the Cowboys. You're putting more shine on it just because they're the star. And you know what? It's amazing to me that I'm working with such a youngster because that's a testament to how great you are, how fast you hit the ground running. You're 29 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
And right now, when it comes to historical data, I notice you say a lot in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years. Because, brother, maybe you ain't been here long enough to know how long the Cowboys have been rolling. And let's talk about the Cowboys when Jerry Jones first purchased them. What were they, 1-15? Yeah. And then you like to go past those 3 championships they won in those 4 years. You like to go past that. But I don't. Because I'm not going to just suffer from recency bias and only look you.
24 years isn't recent.
Hold on.
24 years is a long time.
It certainly is, but it is still under the same ownership watch. You got to give Jerry Jones his full credit, is all I'm saying. You can't say outside of those 3 Super Bowls.
That's fair.
Because Dallas Cowboys are sitting there with the 3rd most amount of championships in NFL history. We know that they're behind the Patriots and they're behind the Steelers. So when you talk about this varsity, make sure you respect them in fullness, not just in your last 20 years, youngster.
I have a couple issues with what you're saying because what actually was the operative factor in the success for the Cowboys? Was it Jerry Jones or was it Jimmy Johnson? Because one of them left. And so did the Super Bowl.
No, don't do that. Don't do that to Barry
What you want me not to do? What you want me not to do?
Did Barry Switzer win the championship?
Okay, he got one. He got one. And I'll probably 2.5. But let's get back to the point because here's my real issue with what you're saying. You told me yesterday, and you told me today, my problem, America, is that I listen to Marcellus Wiley. Because what Marcellus told me is no one cares what you're doing until you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Marcellus, you told me that. So nobody cares that Jerry builds Jerry World, AT&T Stadium. Nobody cares that you have a $1.3 billion facility. You got what? 3,252-inch televisions in this stadium. Nobody cares that you walk into your practice facility, sir, and you have $1 million in chandeliers. You have glass windows all in this practice facility, and you land your helicopter there. And everybody knows that Jerry Jones has arrived when the Jerry Chopper shows up and pulls in on the grass. I'm telling you, I've been there. I was there every day.
It's real.
Nobody cares what you're doing until you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Jerry Jones, you're doing so much extra stuff. You got a radio show every week you be on. These other GMs don't, Marcellus. Browns GMs, Redskins, they don't. But Jerry does. But the problem is, Jerry, the one thing you're supposed to be doing,
what?
winning Super Bowls, you not doing. So yes, Marcellus, now I